Alright, so now we're going to talk about common reactions in our lives. So chemical reactions happen all around us, yet many are invisible. If you could see what happens to the molecules in flour, sugar, and other ingredients when you bake, you would see some substances breaking down while others form. When you develop a roll of film, chemical reactions turn the information stored on the film into pictures of family and friends. When you shampoo, condition, and color your hair, you are taking advantage of chemical reactions. So we have some useful reactions. So almost everything you do involves a chemical reaction. During chemical reactions, substances act to produce new substances with different properties from the original substances. Some of these reactions are simple and some are very complex. For example, launching a space shuttle uses complicated technology but a simple reaction. So hydrogen and oxygen combine during a chemical reaction to produce energy and water. Energy powers the space shuttle, and the water is a byproduct of reaction. A byproduct is a product of the reaction that was not the product being used immediately. So the energy is what they really want out of there. The water is just like an awesome byproduct. There is a picture of the blimp. That's a hydrogen-powered vehicle as well. So, on the other hand, an everyday occurrence, like taking an antacid to treat acid indigestion, is based on a different type of reaction. The antacid tablet contains a basic chemical called magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide reacts with the hydrochloric acid in your stomach to produce neutral magnesium and magnesium chloride and water. So how about when you leave bananas on the kitchen counter for a few days? They turn from green to yellow to brown, and it is obvious that changes are occurring. Bananas release natural ripening gases known as ethylene. Ethylene triggers enzyme production, and enzymes speed up the chemical reactions. So enzyme amylase breaks down starches into sugars. Another enzymes trigger the color changes and softening of the fruit, and enzymes break down large molecules into smaller ones that evaporate in the air, providing us the banana smell. So we also whiten our whites. So household bleach helps us to keep white laundry looking bright and clean. The active component in some bleaches is hydrogen peroxide. Other bleaches use sodium hypochlorite. Both of these key ingredients contain oxygen. Oxygen is responsible for the reaction that makes a colored stain colorless. So baking bread. We've already talked about the role of yeast in baking bread. Baking bread is a lot like working in a chemistry lab. A baker combines ingredients in a bowl. The ingredients are left to rise, then are baked to make bread. Flour is made of cereal grains that release starch and proteins when they are milled. When flour is mixed with water and yeast, enzymes in the yeast break down the starch into glucose. Other enzymes react with some of the glucose molecules to produce carbon dioxide and ethanol, which is an alcohol. So carbon dioxide and the bubbles rise up through the mixture, causing the dough to rise, and heat causes the packets of gas in the dough to expand, giving the bread its airy texture. The alcohol burns off during the baking process, leaving behind its delicious flavor. So swimming pool scent. If you have probably noticed that swimming pools smell distinctly like chlorine. When chlorine is added to water, it produces hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorous can kill microorganisms by destroying their cell membranes and inner enzymes. Cleaners that include chlorine always have warning symbols. That is because chlorine gas is dangerous when inhaled. It can lead to unconsciousness or even death. So protective rubber gloves and eye protection should always be worn when working with chlorine. So changes that occur. So chemical reactions are all around us. Alright, so in a chemical reaction, the substance you start with is not always the same as the substance you end up with. Substances with new properties are formed, and this type of change cannot be reversed. So reactants go into products. Reactants are the substances that are there before the chemical reaction, and the products are the substances that form afterwards. So there are several indicators of a chemical change. One sign is the absorption or release of energy, or heat, or light. Okay, so in some cases, chemical reactions, gases may be given off, new solids may be formed, or color changes may occur. In others, odors are also given off. Alright, so we're going to talk about combustion and neutralization in the next video.